Hey y'all, my name is Cal and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be looking over and presenting the evidence as to whether or not in Security Breach, Vanessa will be able to be trusted. However, before I actually dig into that evidence, there is one other thing we're going to have to get out of the way first. From my research, they seem to be two pretty major pieces of evidence that fairly definitively prove that Vanny and Vanessa cannot be the same person. So the first is their voices. If you take the voice near the middle of the most recent trailer for Security Breach to be Vanessa, which, knowing the cast of characters and comparing it to what she says and just analyzing the voice in general, it does seem to be a fairly accurate assumption to make. Then if we take that voice and you compare it to Vanny's voice from VR Curse of Dreadbear, they are pretty different. Vanessa's voice is higher pitched than Vanny's, and she also does speak faster than Vanny does. Now the second piece of evidence would be the statues. If you don't already know, in the lead up to Security Breach, as part of the marketing campaign or whatever, designs for two statues were released. One of them was of Vanny and Vanessa, very clearly showing them as two separate people. I have seen people make the argument that it's sort of symbolic for a split mind or split personality. However, if you analyze the titles, actually, that doesn't make as much sense. Because the Vanny and Vanessa statue uses the same titling convention, i.e. character name and other character name, as Gregory and Glamrock Freddy, and those two, again, clearly don't seem to be the same character. Now, I will admit, Vanny and Vanessa's names are very similar, but coming from the series with two different Fritzes and three different Jeremys, it's not entirely out of the ordinary. A great starting place for determining whether or not we can trust Vanessa is what she actually says. Now, like I said before, we don't know for certain that the voice in the most recent trailer is her, but knowing what we know from the character list, it is a very safe assumption to make. So, let's talk about that. The first thing that she says is, "Gregory, we can get you out of here, you and me, together." Now, there are probably two major interpretations for this. Either one, she's actively trying to help Gregory and we can just take her word at face value, or she's trying to gain Gregory's trust to lure him to the back and sacrifice him to Glitch Trap or whatever. Now, the way this line is said, it doesn't necessarily lean on one side or the other, so I'm just gonna let this one slide because it doesn't really seem like it adds much to the conversation. The next line is, "They won't stop hunting you. None of them will stop hunting you." This one could either be a threat or a warning. Now, with the way that the voice actor for Vanessa says this line, I'm actually going to lean more towards that it's a warning, because there's a sort of desperation in the way she's saying it that does make me think more that it is a warning. Next is the line, "We have to get you out of here by morning." Again, this could either be an active attempt to help Gregory, or she could be trying to gain his trust to do whatever. Now, again, I'm going to give this point to trusting Vanessa, again because of the way that the line is said. It doesn't sound like she's actively trying to gain his trust. There's a sad sort of kind of desperation in it. And it doesn't really sound like a, trying to gain your trust. If that was it was, I think the line would probably sound a bit more upbeat, kind of like the first line in the trailer was. Her final line is, "There's more going on here than you realize." This could either be, again, a warning, it could possibly be a sort of threat, it could be cluing in as to what her true nature is, or something along those lines. But I am, yet again, going to give this particular piece of evidence the side of trusting her. Because, again, the way that it's said, it's this sort of sad, downtrodden, sort of you really don't want to do that. There's a lot more going on here than you realize. And again, between STAFF and what looks to be an underground facility, we know that Vanessa isn't lying when she says that. Now, let's take a look at what Vanessa actually does in the teasers. After all, actions speak louder than words, right? Well, the first time we see Vanessa is in a teaser image on Scott's website. She is looking out from behind a doorway and the word protect is written underneath her. I am going to give this particular piece of evidence to the side of trusting her. So she could be protecting, like, Gregory, she could be protecting Glitchtrap, or something completely different. But if she was on the side of Glitchtrap, the word would probably be closer to a synonym for obey, which is the current teaser, at least as of filming this, up on Scott's website with Vanny. So protect does seem closer to protect Gregory and get him out of here, or then, like, protect Glitchtrap and his ultimate goal. Again, just with what we've seen of Vanny's teasers. We see Vanessa twice in the trailer. The first time we see her, she's looking in on this glass pipe that presumably Gregory is going down. Now, if you zoom in on her fingers, you will notice that she is wearing purple nail polish. That is a definitive point to not trust her, because the color purple has only ever been associated with the one, the only, William Afton. We next see Vanessa walking around the mall with a flashlight, and it looks like she is looking for something, or more likely, someone. I am, again, going to give this point to not trusting Vanessa. Because she could be looking for someone who isn't Gregory. She could be looking for Vanny. She could be looking for Gregory for perfectly innocent reasons. However, it is highly suspicious of her to be walking around, especially when it looks like our character is specifically hiding. Again, doesn't necessarily mean he's hiding from her, but it does look like he is hiding from her, and that doesn't give the best light to Vanessa. Now, I personally am leaning towards trusting Vanessa. Even with the evidence that she can't be trusted, that is just my personal opinion with the evidence that we have. You are welcome to disagree with me. You're welcome to write out all the reasons why I'm wrong in the comments. You are welcome to write out evidence I may have missed in the comments. Just please remember to be nice, to be respectful, and to keep an open mind. Now, with all that being said, thank you all so very much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and goodbye.